Welcome back to the Deep Dive, everybody. Get ready to add some magic to your day, because we're diving into a world of spells, potions, and a boy who lived.
And by popular demand, we're taking a deep dive into the one that started it all, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
You know, it's funny, this book's been a part of our lives for so long, I almost feel like we're revisiting an old friend.
One we know so well, right?
Yeah.
But even with friends like these, there's always something new to discover, some hidden depth we might have missed.
Exactly. So for those who might think they've got this book memorized, like Hermione Granger in Charms class, buckle up, because we're about to unearth some details even Dumbledore would be impressed by.
Now, what always gets me is how this global phenomenon, this story that sparked a million imaginations, doesn't actually start with a bang.
It's true. No grand unveiling of Hogwarts or epic wizard duels right off the bat. Instead, we're dropped right into the middle of 4 Privet Drive with the Dursleys.
The most magically deprived bunch you could imagine. Talk about a contrast. It's like trying to find a phoenix feather in a box of Dudley's old toys. It's just brilliant, though, isn't it?
Why do you think that is? Starting us off in this world that's about as magical as a wet firework?
Because it makes the magic that much brighter when it does appear. Think about it by immersing us in the Dursleys' dreadfully ordinary lives, their complete aversion to anything out of the ordinary, Rowling setting the stage. It's like that initial glimpse into Diagon Alley, you know?
Yeah.
It's impossible to ignore because it's framed by, well, the sheer blandness of their world.
It's true. And poor Harry is stuck right in the middle of it. He's practically treated like one of those garden gnomes the Dursleys are always trying to hide.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The cupboard under the stairs, his birthday is ignored, his magical heritage constantly stifled. They're practically the poster family for how not to raise a wizard.
It's almost comical, though, right? The lengths they go to. You'd think a little accidental magic would be met with a, that's odd, not off to the cupboard with you. But I guess that's the Dursleys in a nutshell. They can't stand anything remotely interesting.
And it's that fear, that deep-seated terror of the unknown, that makes them so desperate to squash any hint of magic. Remember when Petunia chops off Harry's hair, thinking it's some act of defiance?
And it just grows back overnight. You'd think they'd at least invest in a good pair of earmuffs before trying that again.
But their reaction is pure panic. It speaks volumes about their own insecurities, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's like they're holding on to this idea of normal so tightly that anything remotely different feels like a threat. But even they can't ignore the signs forever, right? Especially when those signs start arriving by owl delivery.
You're talking about the Hogwarts letters, of course. Now, those aren't your average piece of post.
No, we're talking hundreds of letters, owls swooping in by the dozen. It's like the wizarding world decided to launch a full-blown marketing campaign.
It's a fantastic escalation, though, wouldn't you say? You've got the shooting stars over Surrey, Dudley's pigtail. Each event a little more impossible than the last.
And it all culminates, of course, with the arrival of a certain half-giant on a flying motorbike.
Now that's an entrance nobody could ignore. Hagrid, bless his heart, he doesn't exactly do subtle, does he?
Hagrid wouldn't know subtle if it hit him in the face with a rogue bludger.
But that's what makes him so brilliant. He's this force of nature, this walking, talking embodiment of magic, who crashes into their world and literally bends their reality. It's no wonder the Dursleys end up looking like they've swallowed a bad batch of Bertie Bott's every flavor beans.
And you know, Rowling's having a field day with this because Hagrid's not just there to deliver a message. He's there to show Harry what he's been missing.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just about telling Harry he's a wizard. It's about showing him. Hagrid's size, his casual disregard for the Dursleys' rules, even that booming laugh, it all screams magic. And it's essential because it immediately positions magic as something liberating, something powerful in the face of the Dursleys' small-mindedness.
You're right. It's like a giant, "You're not stuck here" banner unfurling right in the middle of their perfectly manicured lawn. But Rowling doesn't just whisk Harry off to Hogwarts right away, does she? Instead, we get this amazing glimpse into Diagon Alley.
This vibrant, bustling marketplace bursting with all things magical. It's a sensory explosion after the sterile quiet of Privet Drive.
Oh, Diagon Alley. For me, it's the chocolate frogs and Bertie Bott's every flavor beans that really cement the magic of the place. What's your favorite detail about Diagon Alley?
Oh, it's tough to pick just one. But if I had to choose, it might be Ollivander's wand shop. It's not just about getting your magical toolkit, you know? It's that idea of destiny, of a wand choosing the wizard that really gets me.
It's true. There's something so profound about that connection, isn't there? And when we learn that Harry's wand shares a core with Voldemort's, well, Let's just say Rowling knows how to plant a seed of suspense.
Oh, absolutely. She's weaving together destiny and conflict from the very beginning. But before we get too caught up in wands and prophecies, let's not forget, Harry's also just inherited a fortune at Gringotts. Talk about a whirlwind first day in the magical world.
He's gone from zero to wizarding celebrity in the span of about an afternoon. But for me, the real magic begins when they reach Hogwarts. I mean, that first glimpse of the castle. It's enough to make even a muggle consider a career change.
Hogwarts is practically a character in itself. It's this majestic castle, full of history and secrets hidden away from the ordinary world. You've got talking portraits, moving staircases, even ghosts roaming the halls. It's like Rowling reached into our childhood dreams and brought them to life.
It's like the ultimate boarding school fantasy, but with magic. And speaking of fantasy, let's talk about the Sorting Hat. I mean, who hasn't secretly wished they could try it on?
Oh, I'm a Gryffindor, through and through. But what's interesting about the Sorting Hat is that it goes beyond just dividing students. It's about highlighting those core values, those inherent qualities that make us who we are. You've got Gryffindor, the brave and chivalrous, Slytherin, the ambitious and cunning.
Don't forget about Hufflepuff. Loyal and hardworking, they don't always get the credit they deserve. And then there's Ravenclaw, the House of Wit and Wisdom, always a good one for those midnight study sessions.
Exactly. The Sorting Hat isn't just a quirky tradition. It's about recognizing those different strengths and acknowledging that there's a place for everyone. It's like Rowling's asking, what do you value most? What kind of person do you want to be?
It's a question we see Harry grappling with throughout the book, isn't it? He could have chosen Slytherin, but ultimately he chooses Gryffindor, the house that aligns with his own sense of justice and compassion.
And that choice, that act of choosing his own path, is so crucial to Harry's development. It shows us that even though destiny might play a role, we always have the power to choose who we want to be.
Exactly. But Hogwarts isn't all sorting hats and house rivalries, is it? There's actual magic to be learned.
And not just the theoretical stuff. We're talking about brewing exploding potions, learning to transfigure objects, even facing down a rogue troll in the dungeons. This is hands-on magic at its finest.
Oh, the troll incident. That's classic Harry, Ron, and Hermione right there. Talk about a bonding experience.
It really solidifies their friendship, doesn't it? You've got these three kids breaking every rule in the book to save the day. It's a testament to their courage, their quick thinking, and that unshakable Gryffindor spirit.
And speaking of Gryffindor spirit, we can't forget about Quidditch. It's not just a game, it's a way of life at Hogwarts.
And Harry discovers he's a natural. I mean, who wouldn't want to experience the thrill of flying on a broomstick, soaring through the air with the wind in your hair?
It's the ultimate escape, isn't it? And for Harry, it's more than just a game. It's a connection to his father, a way to excel in this world that initially seemed so foreign.
It's a powerful reminder that even amidst the challenges, there's always joy to be found, always something to strive for.
It's interesting, though, even with all the wonder and excitement of Hogwarts, there's this undercurrent of danger, this sense that something wicked this way comes.
Rowling masterfully balances those two elements, wouldn't you say? The lighthearted fun of Hogwarts with the looming threat of Voldemort. It creates this incredible tension that keeps you on the edge of your seat.
It's like that feeling you get when you're walking through a dark forest and you know something's out there, lurking just beyond the trees. And it all comes to a head, of course, with the quest for the Sorcerer's Stone. We see Harry, Ron, and Hermione facing those challenges together, their individual strength shining through as they navigate each obstacle.
And that's what makes this quest so compelling. It's not just about defeating the bad guy. It's about teamwork, about using your unique talents to overcome adversity. You've got Hermione's logic solving Snape's potion riddle, Ron's strategic brilliance in that life-size chess game. Each challenge is designed to test a different skill, to push them to their limits.
It's like the ultimate escape room, but with higher stakes. And it highlights the power of friendship, doesn't it? How important it is to have people you trust, people who have your back when you're facing the unknown.
Absolutely. They learn to rely on each other, to value each other's strengths, and that's a powerful message, especially for young readers. But what's fascinating to me is how this external quest, this race to find the stone, also mirrors Harry's own internal journey. He's not just trying to save the world. He's confronting his past, his fears, and ultimately his destiny.
It's true. And talk about facing your destiny, that final showdown with Quirrell. I'll be honest, the first time I read it, I was completely blindsided. Snape, with his cryptic comments and that whole rivalry with Harry, he seemed like the obvious villain.
Right. Rowling definitely knows how to keep us guessing. She plays with our expectations brilliantly. We're so focused on Snape, we completely overlook Quirrell. It's like hiding a dragon egg in plain sight.
And then, bam, reveal time. Turns out Quirrell's been possessed by Voldemort this entire time. It sends shivers down my spine just thinking about it.
It's a brilliant twist, though, isn't it? And it adds a whole new layer of creepiness to Quirrell's character. Suddenly, those nervous twitches and that stutter take on a whole new meaning.
It's not just a fear of authority figures. It's the Dark Lord whispering in his ear. But it also highlights the insidious nature of Voldemort's power, doesn't it? The way he can manipulate and control others.
Exactly. It shows that Voldemort isn't just power-hungry in the traditional sense. He craves something far more sinister, a way to cheat death, to defy the natural order. He's not just trying to rule the world. He's trying to transcend it.
Which makes you realize this whole battle is about so much more than just good versus evil, wands and spells. It's about those fundamental choices we make, the things we're willing to sacrifice for the greater good.
And that's where Dumbledore's wisdom comes in. He understands the true danger of the Sorcerer's Stone. It's not just that it could fall into the wrong hands. It's the very idea of immortality, of clinging to power, that he sees as ultimately corrupting.
It's a powerful message, isn't it? That even in a world of magic, it's our choices, our values that truly define us.
And that's what makes Harry's victory so meaningful. He doesn't defeat Quirrell with brute force. He does it by choosing love over power, compassion over fear. He embodies those Gryffindor values, even in the face of unimaginable darkness.
And that's the magic of Harry Potter, isn't it? It reminds us that even in the darkest of times, there's always hope, always the potential for courage and compassion to triumph. It makes you wonder, what would your journey through the challenges of Sorcerer's Stone reveal about your own strengths and values?
If you were to don the sorting hat, where do you think you'd end up? That's something to ponder, isn't it?
It certainly is. And we hope this deep dive has sparked those reflections for you. It's amazing how even after all these years, Harry Potter still has the power to enchant, to challenge, and to inspire us. And on that note, until next time, keep exploring those hidden depths, and remember, the magic is out there, both within the pages of our favorite stories and in the everyday wonders of our own lives.